Hi everyone, this is Tanya from Flying Dog Studio. Thank you so much for joining me for part 3 of my Caran Neocolor II study, and this is based on the work of Beatrix Potter. If you've had a chance to catch 1 and 2 of this video series, then you know that I've already inked this, and what you're seeing right now are the base colors of the Caran. They've already been colored on, they have already been activated with water. Everything is completely dry, and now I'm coming back and I'm building up shape. We have the base. Now we want to use some other colors and build up the shape and the form of the flower and the leaves. So we're treating it like it's shading almost, even though it's color. It's like shading with color. So on the screen, you're going to notice down below, kind of in the center, more on the right hand side, when I pick up a color, I'm going to have that down there at the bottom. This is light olive, and I'm trying to slow it down so you can see what I'm doing on that. And what I'm doing now is I'm looking at my reference photo, and again, very lightly putting down the colors where I see them, thinking about how they're going to give shape to this flower, and I'm actually layering them on top of one another. Now, in the last video, we put colors side by side, so we juxtapositioned them. But now we're not just juxtapositioning colors, we're putting them right on top, keeping in mind what we have underneath. And now we're gonna water this part. I call it watering it. We're gonna add some water to it and activate the color. And I'm only gonna do a little bit of the flower at a time so you can keep up with that. So we're gonna do the flower, and then we're gonna move down to the stem, and then we're gonna move the left side and then the right side. And you can see as I activated the color underneath, even though that was russet that I put on top first, it is turning it kind of an orange with the yellow underneath, a little more orange than it would be if I were just to do russet by itself. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm putting these base colors on, and I mentioned that in the last video. And you can see this is starting to give a little bit of shape, and you can see the little ruffles. I call them ruffles, I don't know. It's the way those petals come around on the flower, and it's almost like material actually. And this is how I would shade clothing if I were shading clothing. You kind of have a dark area, a medium area, and then a light area as it comes to the top of the fold, and that's what we're doing with this flower. And in the center it's a little bit brighter, that's why I added that vermilion in there. And every time I am changing to a different area, you'll notice that I am dipping my brush in water, tapping it on the cloth. I want some water, but not too much water. Now, as we get down into this part of the flower where we're adding a little more color on things, especially in the green areas, we have the same issue that these Caran travel on the surface of the paper. So since this is cold press and it has texture, we're going to see that texture even when we activate it with water. Once we water it down, we're still going to see that texture. So I will have to come back once I've gone over the whole thing, and I'm going to have to do it again so I can kind of get rid of all of that texture in there. Because if it's textured, that means it might activate again once I add more color and water on top. And I'm wanting to layer these right now. So this is a layer. Even though we're putting colors on top of each other and mixing them together, this is still a layer because there's one final layer coming up. And yes, that means there's a part 4. I really tried to do this in 3 parts, but the final part is a different technique. We're not going to be coloring on the paper like this. It is a straight painting technique. So if you've never seen me do that, then stay tuned for part 4, which will be out, Lord willing, tomorrow. I'm going to voice over that one and get that one out tomorrow. Now, this dark green that I put on here, it is a very blue green. It's going to even look more blue green than it did when I put the original layer down. So I've added some of the brown with it, and you'll see me add umber with it as well because that gives it kind of a gray tone. It kind of tones it down a little bit, but this is still not our final look. We're going to go a little bit darker with it, but I do have to get these down and add them a little at a time because I'm an advocate of adding a little color and then coming back and adding a little more instead of adding everything up front and then having to fix it if you make a mistake. So that is my process here. I'm going to be quiet for a bit and I'll let you have a little music in the background and you can watch me paint. As we are activating this second set of leaves on the flower, I wanted to come on and remind you that if you're looking for the supplies I use, or you want the links to the other videos, or anything else about this video, check down in the description because I've tried to link everything down there. And if you have any questions about the Caran d'Ache, or if you have some suggestions, or if you have your own experiences working with it, please put that down below because we would love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you want to follow along, this is on my blog. I have that link down there as well. It will say Jonesboro School of Art, but that is me. I had a studio, a teaching studio, and that was our blog, so we're using it for this, and so that will all be down there below. And I'll have the reference photo for this, the actual photograph, which you're welcome to use for your art if you would like to. That is perfectly fine. And I also have the drawing for this, so if you want to download that or trace it or whatever you want to do, that will be on there for you as well. So all of that's down below. Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier. This area has kind of had a chance to dry, so I'm coming back with a wet brush and I'm making certain that everything is activated, that it is all watercolor now and it's not any pigment left undissolved so that it can't mix in with other colors later. So that's super important, and you'll see me do that periodically through here. And again at the end I will come through and touch a few areas that still look to me as if they are not completely activated. And in case I didn't say it earlier, again, go very lightly with these. Remember, like that dark green that I just used, it's super bright. So don't be adding this on the paper like you're mixing oil pastel. Go very lightly with it because it is going to activate super bright. One thing about working with foliage like this, there are always so many shades of green when you're working with leaves, so many shades of green. And I think Caran d'Ache, I have quite a few, I haven't counted them over there, at least half a dozen or a little more greens, but I think Caran d'Ache colors really blend together well to give you a wide variety of greens. And it takes a little practice. I have used these before, and as I said in one of the previous videos, I have not used them in a hot minute, so I had to kind of think back about how these colors mix together. But as you can see, they give you a wide variety of greens on here. And now that we're coming to the very end of adding these and activating the colors, I'm just going to come back through and double check everything as I said that I would to make sure everything's activated. And that will bring us to the end of part 3, and part 4 will be out tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining me. And if you've made it through all of these parts, kudos to you. I wish I had a prize to send you, but you do have my many, many thanks. And if you're new to the channel, thank you for hopping on. I hope you'll find something that's of value here and that you will join us for other projects in the future. But until then, my friends, I will see you in the next one.